There's no doubt that AI is and will have an impact on the workforce, but is it also becoming a layoff scapegoat even before that impact is really happening? Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. Today we kick off with a discussion about the AI labor disruption narrative. On Monday, sources started leaking that Amazon was about to let go a ton of workers. The number given by those sources was 30,000, about 10% of Amazon's corporate workforce. The question was, of course, going to be whether Amazon would blame AI or acknowledge other factors at play with their business. Amazon conducted a string of rolling headcount reductions across late 2022 and early 2023, obviously too early to be a result of AI disruption. Instead, those layoffs appeared to be a reversal of overhiring during the pandemic. That reduction in force totaled 27,000 corporate employees in total, so was also a very significant size. In addition, Amazon has been one of the weakest of the tech giants during the AI boom. Growth in their cloud business slowed from 19% last year to a forecast 18% this year. Compare that to Microsoft Azure, which is growing at 39% in the most recent quarter. In any previous era, this would be an obvious cost-cutting measure to trim a bloated workforce, but CEO Andy Jassy has already laid the groundwork to blame layoffs on AI. In June, he wrote in a memo to staff that AI agents, quote, should change the way our work is done. He said, we will need fewer people doing some of the jobs that are being done today and more people doing other types of jobs. It's hard to know exactly where this nets out over time, but in the next few years, we expect that this will reduce our total corporate workforce as we get efficiency gains from using AI extensively across the company. Bloomberg sources suggested that in reality, it might be a little bit of both. Citing meetings and internal strategy documents, they said that Jassy has led a big push to do more to automate work using AI. At the same time, he's told colleagues explicitly that parts of the company are still unwieldy after a pandemic-era hiring binge. And indeed, when we got the official announcement on Tuesday, the number was lower than the 30,000 leaked, which feels to be very intentional. Instead, this number was 14,000, and while they hinted at AI enough for it to show up in the title of news articles like this one, Amazon laying off about 14,000 corporate workers as it invests more in AI, when you go read the announcement post from Beth Galetti, the Senior VP of People Experience and Technology, they're sort of hedging a little bit and saying that this is about being nimble for the AI era rather than blaming it explicitly on AI. She writes, this generation of AI is the most transformative technology we've seen since the internet, and it's enabling companies to innovate much faster than ever before, in existing market segments and altogether new ones. We're convicted that we need to be organized more leanly, with fewer layers and more ownership, to move as quickly as possible for our customers and business. The second layoff announcement comes from education tech company Chegg, and this one is definitely more directly aimed at AI. The company plans to lay off 388 workers, which is around 45% of their workforce. And indeed, they said that this was just part and parcel of the, quote, new realities of AI. Those realities are that Chegg was one of the first companies to get absolutely decimated by the introduction of ChatGPT. Students were no longer seeking out online homework help and digital tutoring, instead using ChatGPT to access similar services for free. Chegg acknowledged that the introduction of AI had led to reduced traffic from Google to content publishers, and consequently a significant decline in Chegg's traffic and revenue. The goal now is to restructure to support its academic learning products. This is going to increasingly become a policy conversation, and so it's important that we understand what's actually going on. You might have seen this chart flying around the internet showing that since 2023, while senior employees have continued to be hired, junior employees have sort of fallen off a cliff. What's interesting to me about how this is being shared is that while it's being presented as a ChatGPT issue, there's clearly something else going on here as well. The downward trend in junior employees is both at non-adopting AI firms and at AI adopting firms. Even if it is, yes, slightly worse at AI adopting firms, the trend in both is the same, which suggests to me that there are other things going on as well. This, by the way, comes from a Harvard working paper. What some people are grokking is that it doesn't matter what combination of post-pandemic reset and AI this is, it's going to demand a policy response. Vivek Ramaswamy, who's running for governor in Ohio, tweeted that chart and said, AI is making the job market a lot tougher for young graduates. This is a big deal, and ignoring it will become untenable. Now, his solution is to give people a chance to participate in the equity upside of these companies, but that, frankly, is secondary to the fact that this is going to become absolutely, increasingly in every election cycle we have from here on out, a bigger and bigger issue. Moving over into new product and new feature land, Anthropic has expanded Claude for financial services with a new Excel agent. Claude for Excel is now available in beta as a research preview. It adds Claude in a sidebar for Microsoft Excel, allowing the agent to draw context from the application, as well as modify or create new worksheets. When working as an agent, Claude provides a line-by-line explanation of changes. This allows the user to follow along and check the work in real time. Anthropic has also added 7 new connectors for Claude to provide access to relevant data and news feeds for work in the financial industry. The update also utilizes Claude's new skills feature with a set of preloaded workflows accessible to the agent. These include comparable company analysis, discounted cash flow models, due diligence data packs, and earnings analysis. Skills allow Claude to tap into these workflows as needed without requiring the user to build any agentic scaffolding or infrastructure. Norges Bank, the Norwegian sovereign wealth fund, is already seeing some dramatic results. Their CEO, Nikolai Tangen, reported 20% productivity gains equivalent to 213,000 hours in annual savings, or the work of around 100 full-time employees. He said the portfolio managers and risk departments are now able to, quote, seamlessly query our Snowflake data warehouse and analyze earnings calls with unprecedented efficiency. AIG CEO Peter Zaffino said that their use of Claude had compressed the timeline to review business by more than 5x in their early rollouts, while simultaneously improving their data accuracy from 75% to over 90%. Some once again thought that this was yet another indication of how hard it's going to be for junior employees. Hey Builds writes, this just instantly took out 80% of junior analyst jobs. Associates will take this, make their work 5x faster because they already have the expertise knowledge and can just edit. The longest piece of a deal prep was to build the model in the presentation deck. Others were just excited to not have to go deeper in Excel. Buchow writes, my decade of avoiding to learn Excel is about to pay off. In Chipland, Qualcomm is launching a new line of AI accelerators to take a slice of the rapidly growing AI inference market. Qualcomm has dominated the market for mobile phone CPUs and plans to repurpose the integrated neural processing units from those chips into full-size AI accelerators. The new chips will be offered as standalone units as well as racks of up to 72 chips in a server, suitable for deployment in data centers. Interestingly, if supplied as a chip only, the component could be installed in existing hardware supplied by NVIDIA or others. The first release will be the AI 200 chip beginning next year, with a more efficient AI 250 model planned for release in 2027. Both chips are optimized for inference rather than model training, so won't compete in all aspects with NVIDIA's leading GPUs, but the choice highlights a growing bifurcation in the chip-making space. While NVIDIA continues to be top of the tops when it comes to model training and the choice for most large-scale data centers, demand for inference to serve models to end users is growing much more rapidly, which is opening up space for high-efficiency chips designed for that specific purpose. Qualcomm has already secured an anchor customer to produce their first run, with Saudi Arabia's publicly owned AI company Humane planning to deploy 200 megawatts of data center capacity using the AI 200 chips. Unsurprisingly, the market cheered on the move to diversify away from the stagnant smartphone space into red-hot AI chip manufacturing, sending the stock soaring by 15% on Monday. That, however, is going to do it for the AI Daily Brief headlines. Next up, the main episode.